When I was 15, I was actually in a very transient stage of my life where I had a lot of self-esteem issues. I used to be a plump kid, and that affected my self-worth and how I saw myself, because I pit myself against other 15-year-olds who were fitter, they passed their NAFA. In my class setting, in like small spaces, I always wanted to make my voice known. And so now when the transfer happened from that to social media, I wasn't sure if people would resonate the same way. They can say it's like fake, like, are you putting up a front? I think it's...
Hi, welcome to Speak Up and Stand Out, the show where confidence meets communication and stories inspire success. Today's theme is authentic under pressure. I'm Navin the Iceman, your host for today. Joining me as always, the lovely Susila Krishnasamy, the visionary behind Dare to Speak Academy, helping people everywhere to find their voice and confidence.
Thank you, Navin. That was so sweet. And today I'm really excited because I really like what our guest is going to share with us.
Our guest is a global content creator whose videos have brought cultures, countries, and communities into one lens. Please welcome, I say, he's very real, Ian Jeevan.
Hey
Hi,
guys. Hello. Glad to be here.
All right, Jeevan. Okay, you know what? We're going to start straight away, right?
Yeah,
like I said, it's a real show, And let's do something fun. What's the funniest or most unexpected moment, right, when you were filming in another country?
Ooh, okay, so I was in China and it was this place called Hainan.
Okay.
And I was there for a brand trip and I was doing some content there. And I think the average Chinese person, they don't travel as often. They only do domestic travel. So when they see someone of my appearance come to their country, they are very curious. So then while I was just walking and filming on the streets of China, these people would just come up to me and will ask me, hey, where are you from? They will talk to me in Mandarin, and I mean, I can understand what they're trying to ask me. Like they ask me, where am I from? They ask me, am I from US? And then they comment about my skin. And I think it was a very unique experience that you don't normally feel this in Singapore, Yes, it's like you walk there, everyone's just staring at you, So I think that comes to mind when it comes to something interesting.
Okay. Well, you know what? And how did that change your perspective of things? How you saw yourself right after that, traveling and all that, and how others saw you.
Yeah, no, I think it's a little bit of I think when you grow up in Singapore, you kind of live in a very sheltered environment. So then when you finally step outside the borders, you travel, right? That's when you realize that actually there's a whole world out there that exists outside your bubble, and I think it opened my eyes as well that there are people that, they just don't travel their whole life. And it's an opportunity for cultural exchange to go on.
Yes.
So for them to also know, hey, there are Indians who also live in Singapore. Because in their perception, have you all experienced or not? When they say you're from Singapore, then they're like, wait, you don't look Singaporean.
Yes, exactly.
Course,
it's happened so
the
many times.
Right? They have this image that they have of Singaporeans that is a certain kind of look.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you don't fit, they're like, hey, don't match.
Don't match, yeah. It's a stereotype that they have, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So I see moments like this an opportunity to educate them and say, hey, we have been here for over how many decades, how many hundreds of years we've been here, grown the nation, and we make up Singapore too. So
You mean you say this
to
our locals?
Not to our locals,
but you're talking
more to
about when
foreigners.
you're traveling.
Foreigners,
Yeah, because they are the ones that when they ask, where you're from, and then when you share Singapore, they'll be like, oh, question mark face.
Yeah.
Now I'll do a mini history lesson right there,
Oh.
That's very interesting what Jeevan has just shared. I have encountered something like this in Singapore. And I'm not kidding when I, maybe it's not that kind of setting, and it's not in my classroom, but let's say it's a shopping center and I'm ordering something, or not ordering, I'm paying. When I'm paying, the lady asked me, where are you from? And I told her I'm Singaporean. And she said, you don't look Singaporean, number one. Number two, she said, you speak very well. And I was like, oh my God, does that mean that Singaporeans cannot speak well? So I did ask her that. And I thought it was really very strange that she said, I don't look like an Indian.
Yeah.
Firstly, you don't look like a Singaporean because she said, you don't look Indian, she said. So I'm like, okay, never mind. Let's move on.
Okay, wow. So Jeevan, okay, let's start at the heart of it. Okay, what defines a strong voice, and how did you find yours?
Okay, how do I put it? A strong voice. It feels very like a. It feels like a. How do you say, a very chim word. You know. I think how I interpret a strong voice is you not being afraid to speak how you sound and speak your natural voice without any fear. You know. And like without any hesitation of like, oh, should I speak a certain way, or should I speak in Singlish? Should I speak with an accent? I think there are many layers that encompass a strong voice lah. But I think at the heart of it is confidence.
Yes.
You know, like being able to put across something regardless of like what people will say about you. And you speak up for what you believe in, what you stand for. All this comes across when you ask me the question, like strong voice, these are the things that come to my mind, you know, what I stand for, the message I want to put out there. Yeah.
All right. Then,
Can I sort of add on to that? Have you always felt that you want to use your voice for what you're doing right now?
Actually, to be honest, last time I was very shy.
Yes.
So I wouldn't want to put my voice out there. But in my class setting, in like small spaces, I always wanted to make my voice known. I'm not sure if it was like a attention seeker thing in me because I'm a middle child, you know, hashtag middle child syndrome, right? They say that, oh, they are very attention seeking. But throughout my education journey, I always found myself to be someone that was very vocal. So I would speak up in class. If teacher asked for questions, I would answer, you know, and I think how that translated to eventually in social media was that I felt like within my small sphere of influence in school, I already had a strong voice there. And so now when the transfer happened from that to social media, it felt like I wasn't sure if people would resonate the same way.
Okay.
You know, like would people now interpret me differently because now there is sort of like a persona, you know?
Yeah.
Like social media, they can say it's like fake. Like, are you putting up a front? You know, so
Yes.
those were some of the initial concerns that I had
Okay.
when I started to, you know, speak out more on videos and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
we'd like to tell the listeners and people that, you know, who want to learn more how to get there.
It's not so simple as Jeevan has shared. It's something that, you know, you can't say that, you know, I can find my voice, I find it straight away. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of conscious effort that you have to put in. And this is something that can be done. I think that's what I want to share. It's not something like, oh, you know, I have a natural voice. Some people say that, oh, I'm born confident, you know, I'm born with charisma, I have this, I have that. But no, you have to find your voice first. And that's what we do at Dare to Speak Academy. We tell them it's a very safe environment. It's a safe space for individuals to find their voice and their confidence.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit more about how. And I think Jeevan's stories may help the listeners and the viewers.
Fantastic. Okay. Let's talk about the times where doubt creeps in and tries to silence them. Right. Second guessing yourself and you know, should I do this? Is this the right way?
Yeah.
Or what will people think? You know, right? How do you deal with this?
Right. I think those are very valid feelings, right? First and foremost. And everyone, we do experience some form of like doubt or second guessing ourselves. But I think it's always important to, you know, kind of like take a step back. Take a step back, pause, and to really understand like where is this like hesitation or fear, like where is this hesitation coming from? And most often than not is fear of judgment, fear of what people think of us. Like, oh, if I say this, if I speak this, then people will judge me. And a lot of times in my space and my circle that I see, a lot of my content creator friends, they don't end up putting a video, or a lot of my friends, they don't end up doing something because they are afraid of what people think of them, right? Like how many times we let fear hold us back?
Yes, it's fear and also self-esteem as well as confidence because they don't have the confidence to feel that they can take the judging. So, you know, you have people who say things like that and yet you have come out of it. What is it that made you or helped you to be who you are now?
I think it's a lot about reframing and a lot about disassociating, you know?
Yes.
So I feel like I'm able to now, I've reached a level where I have a fundamental core belief that I'm doing this for the people that like the content, they kind of resonate with your content that you put out. So I'm doing it for them, not for the people that don't really resonate, right? I think in this world, you are not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And I've already understood that. So I'm not going to go about my content creator journey pandering to those who don't like me, but focusing on those who already support me.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, with that said, right, have you ever posted something and immediately doubted or, started second guessing yourself?
Yeah, 100%. I think there'll always be that feeling. And even today also, I just posted a video and then I'm like, what if it doesn't do well? Like what if like people don't like it? And then I always need to tell myself this. I say, as long if one person like that video, if one person resonate with it, if they walk away from watching that video feeling some sort of good emotion, I'm like, job done. So I bring it down to the granular detail. It's not about thousands and thousands of people who like your video. It's just one. If I made one person's day, that's job done. And that is my guiding principle for a content creator. Because like a lot of times you tend to pit yourself to high standards. I must have like a viral video. I want a video that like gets 10K likes. And then when you fall short of that, you feel a sense of disappointment.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately it's a real feeling. But you always got to go back to your guiding compass lah. Like why did you post that video?
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's courage here.
Yeah. There's courage. Yeah.
There's courage. There's quite a lot of courage.
Yeah.
So imagine someone who's trying to build confidence and trying to stand and speak in front of an audience. They will have to have that courage.
Yeah.
Because they know that people are going to give them feedback.
For
And
sure.
sometimes the feedback is good. So the willingness to accept the feedback and change, right?
Sometimes feedback is negative also.
Yes.
And then what happens when you get these feedbacks?
I think
like what happened when it's not the voices in your head, but it's the voices from outside, right? What happens? What do you do?
Yeah, I think there are many things that you can do when you get a negative comment, right? I feel like different between constructive criticism and flat out hate. Okay, let's establish that.
Yes.
Because there are some people they will comment, I don't like your face.
Yes,
and then
I'm sure.
I cannot change my face, and whereas there are other people that are a bit more constructive, like, hey, I think I understand the video context, but maybe if you could be more mindful about overconsumption. Yesterday someone told me this. Like I posted a video that I received some new gadgets from Apple, and then I shared it with my followers, and then they're like, hey, I've been watching your content, but I just want to share with you that be mindful of overconsumption. And then it hit me as a creator. I was like, hey, actually, right? That's right. There are people that don't even have this luxury of a phone and or the ability to get that latest model phone now that it's out. So as a creator, I have to be mindful that my audience, they are technically watching my content and I have to be a good role model.
Yes.
So this thought about overconsumption is something that we should all be mindful of,
Yes.
Yeah, and that was a learning point for me as well.
Yeah.
So that's constructive criticism. So it came from a place where they want you to do better.
Yes.
They hold you to higher standards. And I appreciate when my followers do that.
So how do you handle negative comments and personal attacks?
So one thing my friend told me to do is really just dissociate with all comments. Don't let anyone have a say in how you perceive yourself. Another way about going about dealing with like hate comments and stuff like that, right? And negative comments is ask yourself, I think, breathe. I feel like this is where the 3B framework comes in, right? Take a pause. Like, why are they commenting this? After you pause, then you understand, you rationalize, maybe put yourself in the shoes of the other person. And that's part of bridging, right?
That's right.
You bridge and you kind of understand, why are they saying this? And maybe they're coming from a place where they want me to do better, or they feel like that content was how to say
content didn't work for them.
Didn't work for them.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for them.
Yeah. And they didn't resonate. And so I must understand and empathize, right? Oh, okay, that's fair.
Fair enough, yeah.
And then finally, like the third B, which is boundary, I feel like that's when I as a creator would then need to set that stand lah.
Yes.
Like, hey, my content may not suit you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. It doesn't have to please everyone, right?
Right, fantastic.
As the founder of Dare to Speak Academy, I've seen how powerful it is when young people find their voice. That's why I've created these programs to transform their public speaking and confidence in just 8 weeks. For ages 8 to 10, our conversation champions. For ages 11 to 15, the Speak Up Squad. And for ages 16 to 20, the Step Up Launchpad. All our courses come with a money-back guarantee if your child does not achieve the intended outcomes. Click the link below to find out more about these programs.
You know what? So let's flip the stage a little bit, okay? Because we're going to talk about speaking online, okay, versus speaking live. It's a completely different game, right? Okay.
Yeah.
How is speaking to a camera different from speaking to a live audience?
I think there are a lot of NG takes, not good takes, right? If you speak to a camera, if it's not good, you can just cut it out.
Not this show. Yeah, not this show. I mean, yeah, we do make mistakes and you can probably catch it on camera, just like you.
Yeah, and whereas in public, I think the stakes are higher, because you cannot retract back your words.
Yeah.
Because people are recording, people are listening to your voice, and if you say something that is, let's say, a bit controversial, or it's a very opinionated views, like it can really cause some stir some commotion,
Okay.
That's why it's very important to be very careful what are the words that comes out of your mouth, because once it goes out, there's no taking it back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're adapting and you're adjusting, right? Depending on the medium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about adaptability in order to be authentic.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And I think on that note, if I can share a little bit more, it's also like, let's say behind the camera, if in my own room I'm recording, right? If I say something and I film everything all done, what I'll do is I'll send it to my friends as a fact check, and as to also say, hey, if I post this, would it kind of anger certain communities? Is it like, would it be taken lightly? I have friends that I would send my videos to check how they feel, because sometimes we need a third person's point of view, right? Because they can bring in fresh perspective and they're like, hey, Jeevan, I think maybe this video is a bit touchy given the sensitivity of the time that we are in, if it's global issues that you're talking about. Sometimes we like to bring those global issues and turn it into humor.
Yes.
And it can be done if it's done like tactfully.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
But sometimes it can fall flat.
Yeah.
And then people say, oh, you are, how are you, making fun of this situation, very insensitive.
True.
Yeah.
But then, as you said earlier on, you can't please everybody, isn't it?
Correct.
So isn't that hard?
It is.
Let's say you send to your friends and then they give you feedback.
Yeah.
And they say, I think, like, let's say you send to 3 friends and 2 of them said, this is great. And one said, then what do you do?
I guess if let's say, it depends on contextually, right? If it's a humor can be subjective, right? What you find funny, someone else may not find funny.
Yes.
So if 2 out of 3 friends find it funny, then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll
Fair
post. 2/3 is a good statistic. But if that 1/3 is the community at which they would feel outraged by my content, then that becomes like, okay, then maybe I should not post this video. So at the end of the day, as a creator, or any person putting content out there, you want to be mindful not to marginalize or to further perpetuate stereotypes, which can anger certain communities, right? Because that's also part of your, if you talk about the grand scheme of longevity of a creator, you don't want to get cancelled. Cancel culture. This is a thing right now.
Yeah, cancel culture, yes. But with that said in mind, with so many people competing for the limelight, even in Singapore, there's so many, right?
Yes.
How do you keep relevant? How do you keep up with them?
Yeah, I think great question. I feel most important is like just being you, because there's only one of you, like no matter, there can be so many other creators, right? But what makes you stand out? What makes you set apart? Always like to feel is like, what's your differentiating factor? Because even till today, right, like it's been 5 years being a creative and there are more creators that are coming up, but still brands want to work with me. And I think it's because I bring a set of unique content, which maybe other people, they we all do it differently, you know?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and I feel like you don't need to kind of like be afraid, like, hey, there's another, because there were certain instances, right, when I started coming to the creative scene, other minorities who were in the scene already felt like I was a threat.
Oh.
I was a threat to their rice bowl, you know? They were like, hey, wow, this new Indian creator coming up. And then they thought like I would kind of, eat into their lion's share,
A
you
bit
know?
racist too, right?
It's a bit like of a, it's a mindset, poverty, what's that mindset? Scarcity mindset. It's a thing, you know? People feel like, oh, okay, a new creator comes up means less opportunities for me. But then I have a more of an abundance mindset. Opportunities will forever come.
Yes.
The pie
Yes.
is huge.
Huge,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
exactly.
We don't need to fight for that small bit.
Yeah, true.
So that was my whole framing going in, and I'm like, I'm just gonna stick to my lane, focus on what I do, not care about what people think. And if you want to follow me along my journey, I'm glad that you're here. But there are people who started later than me, now have more followers than me.
Yeah.
And that's normal. I mean, it is normal feeling to also feel like, hey, wow, how come they got more followers? But then you always got to not see it as they always say comparison is a thief of joy.
Yes, thief of joy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you start to feel sour, you start to feel like bitter, like, but then you need to realize that 5 years ago when you started at, let's say, 0 followers, there was a whole journey that you took to get here.
Right, exactly.
You know, so I think looking back, I don't really care too much about like the environment, like, oh, so many creators around. I just focus and stick to my lane. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, like we were talking about creators, and there's so many of them around, right? Okay, and this is just off. Like I said, we don't follow the script all the time, so I'm just gonna go say this.
Yeah.
Among all the Singaporean creators, right? Who do you like to watch?
Ooh. Okay, so there are quite a few. I think I do like to watch couple content because I think they do
it's quite
pranks with
fun.
each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's very sweet. I do content with my grandmother, so I also like to watch other people who do content with their own grandmother. Yeah. If we were to name names, I would say maybe content creators like Fabian and Deborah. They're the Chinese Indian couple. You know, they do content together. I also like this other creator. His name is Ian, and then he shows his Chinese grandmother. They do like trends together. So I like to watch these few contents.
Fantastic. You know, so and I'm sure by watching these people, you also like sometimes just get ideas,
get inspiration, get ideas. Yeah.
And I think that's the way it should be as well. I mean, even when you want to learn how to speak, sometimes watching other people speak, that really helps.
Yes.
You know, picking up the intonation, picking up how they interact with audiences, right?
Yeah, but now we're in the realm where I hear too much all the Gen Z talk. I'm starting to talk like a Gen Z, you know,
Really?
starting to use words.
Is that wrong?
I think it's you want to strike a balance, you know, because next thing you know, code switching is real, right?
Yes, but then that helps, isn't it?
It
Because
helps
your
with
whole idea is to
relatability.
communicate.
That's true. That's true.
And you are communicating to a different, audience all the time.
Yeah.
So why not? I think there's nothing wrong with it.
I think it's maybe the certain lingo, francois, that the Gen Zs use.
Yes.
It hasn't bridged across to the boomers and the Gen Y.
Yeah.
So they are unfamiliar with certain terms, and that's where you have to bridge the gap first.
What terms?
Example, okay, do you know I, Y, and if you know, you know, like it's okay. And then there is this term called like glazing. Do you know what glazing means?
I have no idea.
Yeah, glazing, and then maybe you can ask the Gen Z. I'm not sure if she's Gen Z, the person behind the camera, but then there's this term called like chopped.
Okay.
Like I see it's to describe someone who's like not physically attractive, not
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
really?
you'll
They're
call someone,
chopped.
oh, he looks chopped.
Oh, okay.
Then I'm like hearing all these
I'm
terms.
sure there are a lot of people saying that about me, man.
No.
Don't think so.
Yeah, so it's where when you talk about like when you hear people talk, you can kind of pick up, right? You also pick up the
Yes.
new language, like.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, like I've seen some of this lingo being used by
Gen Zs and alphas.
by the even the Gen Xers.
Oh.
Yeah, like we have group chats, and like I have an uncle group chat, and then they were like, I was like, huh? My uncle's like, really?
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Trying to be cool.
Try to be cool. Yeah. So you know, so So it is rubbing off.
Yeah,
right?
it is. Slowly.
I think every generation has this. Every generation has
its
their lingo,
term.
their terms, and whatever not. Right? Like,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm going to sound terribly old school to say that, even when I text messages,
Yeah.
perfect English.
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, she does. Like,
I always write incomplete sentences, and I don't have
yeah. But it comes
abbreviations.
across very how to say so
officious.
yes, and I think when you end off with a full stop, right? The Gen Zs would interpret that as like, oh, are you angry at me? Yeah, because like when you text, you rarely end off with a full stop.
But I thought angry is all caps.
No,
They
like
have different.
Oh my
lingo.
god!
Ours and theirs
I need to
is
get updated
different.
now.
Yeah, so we're learning
Okay.
now.
Yeah. So when I
okay.
received like message from Susila, right? Like there was a full stop. I was like, whoa,
Oh,
okay.
really? Okay,
Oh,
now I'm not going to have full stop. But that's why I said I'm really old school.
I think you just have
This
to
is my style.
just have to
Yeah.
notice who you're messaging.
who you messaging?
Yeah.
Okay. That means you have to be mindful
Yeah.
of who you are communicating with. You see?
Yeah.
Important. Who you're writing to, who you're speaking to.
Having emojis also helps.
Yes.
Smiley face.
No, but I also found out that you can't just use emojis randomly.
Oh really?
Because apparently they have meanings.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm quoting from the series that was shown
Oh, okay.
on Netflix. After that, I got really scared because we used to have purple hearts. Because we sometimes the person is wearing purple and wow, so nice the outfit. Oh, I love it. Then purple, so many purple hearts. Now we know
okay.
purple hearts got different meaning. Green
Okay.
hearts got different meaning. So that's
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
emojis.
Honestly, I don't care.
Just post.
Yeah. I mean, hardly use emojis anyway. So it's like,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
I also there's also this other generation, right? That instead of WhatsApping you,
Yeah.
they'll voice note.
Voice note. Oh my god.
I don't like voice note. I don't like.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's how the grandparents like communicate.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
Walkie-talkie style,
That's
right?
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But every other person now tends to
Tends
do
to do
that.
that,
And,
yeah.
they don't have time to message. I can understand, but I don't have time to listen.
Maybe sometimes if you're spilling hot tea, very juicy gossip,
Yeah, correct.
then you can like send a voice note.
I think that's a valid time to do that. Yeah.
Voice note, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, it's challenge time.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. All right. We talked about a lot of theory.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's time to put it to the test.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, we're gonna ask you to try out this method. Okay. The BBB method. And of course, before we do that, I would like Susila to actually let everyone know what it is.
Sure. It's quite simple. We call the 3 Bs. The first B is breathe. The second B is bridge. And the third B is boundary. Now for the first, of course, we all breathe. And so before, when you encounter this kind of situations, or you've read something negative, and so you take a deep breath. You don't have to tell people that you're doing it, but breath first, okay? Second, you need to have a bridge because you're going to respond about your boundary. You want to say something to the person. There needs to be a bridge. Something that says why you're doing this. And the boundary is, for example, this may be something the person has said which is negative, and you can say, yeah, you have your views. Thank you for your views. But these are my views, and I would like you to be respectful about it. And that's about it. So you're saying, hey, I don't care. This is how I am. So the boundary sort of says, you can have your views, but just be respectful or just be nice in case if it's something really nasty that somebody said.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. So now it's your turn.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw you, under the bus a little bit, right? I'm gonna be the angry, disgruntled viewer.
Oh.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna tell you, and obviously I typed this out to you, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
try and verbally say it out. Okay.
Let's
right.
go.
Your content is fake, and you only do this for the clicks.
Oh.
Cloud chaser, they say all that kind of thing, right? Okay, so let's practice the 3 Bs, right? I think breathe. Sometimes it can feel like a personal attack, right?
Of course.
And then
yes.
that's why I feel like the breathing is important, to compose yourself before you respond.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be reactive.
Yes.
Because a reactive would be like I would shoot you back. And that may not and that may just continue like a shooting ping pong to and fro, to and fro, to. And I see that happen in my comment section where people just fighting over.
Yes, spiraling.
You know, and it's like, why? For what? Waste breath, waste energy, waste your mental space, your...
Yeah, we call them keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors, exactly.
For a reason, because they got nothing better to do.
And the thing is that they crave a reaction out of you.
Yes.
So
They're
don't...
fishing for a reaction.
Yeah.
Don't bite.
Don't bite.
Don't bite.
Yeah.
So I think that the second part about the bridge, right, it will be ask them, okay, why are they putting a comment like this? Is it to instigate a reaction out of me? Are they trying to, trip me up? Are they trying to make me feel small? Are they trying to, in a way, invalidate my feelings or my exposure or the video based on the video that I did, Or is it like flat out hate? So in that case, I would try to relate from that standpoint. And then I guess expressing my boundary would be, I would then see if it's worth replying back or I would just kind of ignore. And I think ignoring it is in some ways, it protects me from dealing with comments like that. I feel in general, most hate comments I just ignore.
Yes.
Yeah, but if it's like a cheeky hate comment, what I might do is, so I've received maybe a real life example would be someone commented like a hate comment on my video. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, never mind. Thank you so much for watching still. You are contributing to my engagement. So I kind of twist it in such a way like, hey, your comment actually, even though it's negative, it helps me by getting more engagement to the video. Then they're silent.
Yeah, because you're responding in a very positive way.
Positive way,
Yeah.
Or slight sarcasm there,
But of course they didn't pick it.
Yeah, they didn't pick it.
Yeah, they didn't pick it up, yeah. Well, you know what? After listening to exactly what you said, right? I'm still disgruntled.
Sure.
Okay.
Not
Still
happy.
angry.
Shoot.
Okay. This is dumb. I unfollow you.
Okay. I've received those before. Yeah, I've received those where like people say that, oh, they want to unfollow me or my content no longer resonates with them. And I think I have to, again, breathe, put myself in their shoes, try to bridge like, okay, yeah, maybe it is valid. They don't resonate and therefore they unfollow. It's fine. And I don't need to kind of feel sad about it. I think I would, as a creator, I would go back to the drawing block and maybe like understand, okay, why? Is there a need to maybe re-strategize my content? But then again, I do content that I want to do, similar to you, Navin. You do content that you want to do. And sometimes as your content evolves, right, you would bound to be no longer someone's cup of tea.
Yes.
Maybe last time they like your content, but then now as you evolve, you do other things. People like, you know what, I no longer consume your content. I'm going to unfollow you. And that's fine. It's like last time we watched a certain series, but after the series stopped getting interesting, we just drop off. You stop watching.
Which is fine.
It doesn't mean that you like hate the series.
Yeah.
It's just more of like, it was interesting in the start, but now no longer. So I'm moving on to other things. At the end, the boundary will be, I guess, thank you for commenting. I felt like maybe they wanted me to know that they are unfollowing. Sometimes they want to get a reaction.
They want to get a reaction.
They want to let you know, but most people, they just unfollow without you knowing.
You don't even know, right?
Yeah, you don't even know.
Yeah,
So
you don't know. Because you win some, you lose some, right?
Yeah.
I love the fact that you deal with it in a very, very amazing manner. I mean, like so calm.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there are some content creators out there that are not as calm as you.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's move on to Founders Corner.
Oh, this is my corner.
Yeah, this is a corner that we, in fact, you're sitting in the center, but hey,
It's
this
my
is your corner. Okay.
Actually, for this corner, I'm just going to share. I know it is not so much about being a content creator, but we could also link it to that. But whenever it's the Founders Corner, I'm supposed to share an experience with a learner. So I'm just going to share someone who had, who just lacked confidence. She came up and she said, I want to learn to be more confident. So I had to tell her that it has to be baby steps.
Yep.
We take tiny steps. We will start. First of all, you need to build your confidence. And how do you build your confidence? It doesn't just come like that. You need to do it. And I'm a person who always say, just do it. Yeah. So if you're going to just do it, I need to sort of have targets for her. which she had to like fulfill on a weekly basis when they have their weekly meetings. So she must create one very strong opening, and she'll share it with me, and then she'll try, and then let me know how it went. And we sort of worked, just not just that. She had to make this very important team presentation, and it took her 6 months. 6 months working with me for her to do a successful presentation to the board. And she admitted to me when she spoke, everybody was listening. They were looking at her. And that's when, because I always tell her, you need to own your voice. And so she told me, Susila, I owned the room with my voice. And I said, great. It's great. So this is how we do it. We always say, depends what your needs are. We may have different needs. So if it's someone, because most people, they can speak very well. Like in her case, she can speak very well. There's no problem with the language. It's just the confidence.
Yeah.
So that's what today's Founders Corner is all about.
And let's move on to something fun.
Okay.
Rapid fire, man.
Let's go.
Rapid fire. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, immediately answer.
Sure.
Okay. And no thinking, right? No thinking. No
We'll try.
thinking. Just go, okay?
Try.
Okay. All right. So, let's do this. Favorite creator tool?
CapCut.
Longest time editing one video?
4 hours.
Go-to phrase in any language? Dream collab?
Singapore Airlines.
Wow. Biggest misconception about creators?
Oh my god, this is tough. Biggest misconception that we all make a lot of money.
Don't you?
Depends how much is enough for you.
Relative.
Yeah, relative. Yeah.
Very, very relative, I suppose.
Confidence in one word?
I think it's one word. It's tough. I want to say grounded. Yeah, because I feel like where it stems from like your roots and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, grounded.
Yeah. And I would say that by you saying grounded, it just makes this all so real. Like I said, this show is us being real.
Yeah.
Yes.
I stated from before, and I would like to stick by it. And by having guests like you, who's grounded, is real, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get on something personal. Okay. Right. I would like it if you could record a quick voice note to your 15-year-old self, a 10-second pep talk. Okay. What will you tell your, 15-year-old self?
Okay, contextually, when I was 15, I was actually in a very transient stage of my life where I had a lot of self-esteem issues. So I used to be a plump kid, slightly more on the plump side. And that affected my self-worth and how I saw myself. Because I pit myself against other 15-year-olds who were fitter, they passed their NAFA. And so what I would say to that kid is don't be so hard on yourself. I think you need to love yourself, and there is beauty that's inside that people will see. And sometimes beauty is just not outside. Focus on the inward and focus on yourself, and one day you'll blossom lah. And I felt like my 15-year-old self needed to go through what he went through to become the person that I am today. So it's more of I want to give my 15-year-old self a hug lah and say it's going to be okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very good.
Yeah.
So you're not going to give any tips?
I think I won't want him to kind of change what he did, because he had to go through those things to come out on top. But I would say it's you got this lah. Just as a word of encouragement.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe I would say buy Bitcoin lah. If
I was waiting for that, man. I was waiting for that.
buy
waiting
Bitcoin
for that, right? Yeah.
Start investing early.
Yeah. Just buy Bitcoin when it's $1 a coin.
Yeah,
But you are impressive.
Put all your savings
yeah.
in it.
I
Right?
must say this to Jeevan. Very impressive. I mean, from what you have shared about how you were as a 15-year-old, what are some of the, I like to use the word hang-ups, right? We all have certain hang-ups. Where you are now today, you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Really great job. It's so confident you are, and I'm so proud
Thank you.
that you are our guest. Really, really very proud.
Okay, so before you leave us, all right, what's your one-liner for this episode?
I think
Yes.
confidence comes from within. Yeah.
Great one-liner.
And we'd like to thank you for coming down to the show. Okay, of course, I'd like to thank my lovely host. And for all you audiences out there, lovely audiences out there, now is your chance to practice on your BBBs.
Now it's your turn. You're there. It's quite easy. You just write down your BBB reply as a template. Keep it in your notes. It should be something around 40 words. Save it, and the next time the pressure hits you, you'll be ready. Use that BBB you have already prepared. Okay?
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Speak Up and Stand Out. My lovely, lovely host, co-host with me, Susila is here. We got Jeevan as our lovely guest. Well, it's been a real treat. And we'll see you again soon. So keep on watching and don't be afraid to speak up.
Stand out. Bye.